10 seconds.
Conor McGregor calls out Jake Paul for the next boxing fight. Here it is.
Make a new name for yourself. Look at what has happened to Michael Perry. One of our big stars here, the king of violence, he titles himself. And he's had such a rise in the sport. Now he's up against a little dweeb of a thing in a fight this weekend. Now we're all rooting for him.
And Conor McGregor can say what he wants, but he won't fight me either. So once I knock out Mike Perry, Conor McGregor, let's run it. But you won't do it because you know what's going to happen. You saw what I did to Nate Diaz, who you went toe-to-toe with. So Conor McGregor, lay off the cocaine, get in the gym, and start winning fights, and then maybe we can have a conversation.
Conor McGregor just leaked training footage for his upcoming fight with Jake Paul, the guy who built a career by fighting people with bigger names than him. McGregor knows exactly how to sell a fight, and this footage is just part of the hype machine. Meanwhile, Jake Paul is probably just excited to cash in, regardless of who wins.
I'm not a boxer.
Ooh, say it again.
I'm not a boxer.
One more time.
UFC 257, Conor McGregor just got knocked up. Worst stream of all time, Dana White. Worst stream ever. We want refunds. Conor McGregor got paid $5 million to fight a bum, and he got knocked out by the bum. Bro, the memes right now all over Twitter, it's trending. This is hilarious. You got Nate Robinson. Conor, dude, you got paid $5 million to fight a bum. You should have taken the Jake Paul fight for $50 million, but now I got $10,000 for you. I got $10,000 cash. Cold hard cash, blue onions, all cash. Or I'll give you a third of a Bitcoin.
Conor McGregor fired Mike Perry from the Bare Knuckle Championship. Well, he goes from, look at what Mike Perry's doing, the BKFC put him in these positions. He's gonna fuck up that little dweeb to, you're fired. Like,
why doesn't he just get in the ring with you?
He's on Twitter, he's on his yacht, he's on cocaine, but he's not in the ring with me. And so until he does that, I don't want to hear any more shit.
McGregor's always one for a little showmanship, and this little leak, well, it's just a perfect marketing ploy, isn't it? The Irishman, known for his brash confidence and unapologetic self-promotion, is all over the place on social media teasing fans with glimpses of his supposedly intense training sessions. It's almost like he's trying to convince us that he's in top form, because if there's one thing McGregor does well, it's selling the fight.
Jake Paul made the call-out video. He disrespected Conor McGregor. Here's the mistake that everybody's making about Jake Paul. Because I put this on my Twitter account. I said Jake Paul's going to finish Askren in 30 seconds. And everyone's like, whoa, Askren's a fighter, blah, blah, this crap. I knew Jake Paul would smoke him because Jake Paul is the person I used to be. He's a cocky, arrogant young man who's training. You think Jake Paul isn't training? They're like, oh, he's just a YouTuber. He's training with Canelo and Ryan Garcia. The guy is training his. He's not running his mouth to people without training. He's getting in there to win.
Well, it's wildly dramatic, like most things McGregor does. There's the slow motion punching, the heavy bag sessions, the shadow boxing, basically everything you'd expect from a guy who's trying to convince the world that he's been in full training mode. You'd think he's gearing up for a fight with a heavyweight champion, not Jake Paul. But hey, that's the magic of McGregor's brand. The guy knows how to sell a narrative. No.
The reality is that guy's partying, and he's partying real hard. And he talked about it in the court case. You know, he's talking about cocaine. Like that was the whole thing, that we're all doing cocaine and we're.
No, I fancy him for it, to be honest. I fancy a man's a bit windy. The cat's a bit windy. Yeah. You know, so but he's a donkey. The guy's a donkey, yeah, the other cat. Yeah. But what's a donkey has a kick as well. So you just gotta be worried of that. So but I just think, mate, take weather and that'll come and be careful and I'll be in his face and I was thinking it's really Nate, you know.
He's not exactly in peak MMA form, but who cares? The whole point of this training footage is to build hype, and it's doing a damn good job of it. Fans and critics alike are out here trying to analyze every frame, dissecting whether McGregor still has the speed power and, most importantly, the mental game to take on someone like Interview. But here's the thing. The footage isn't exactly the secret weapon everyone seems to think it is. McGregor, being the mastermind of self-promotion that he is, isn't just training for the sake of improving his technique. He's training to look good. And let's be real, the guy looks good. When you zoom in on those muscles, those movements, the sweat dripping off his forehead, you could almost hear the thousands of McGregor fans screaming he's back, the Notorious is back. It's almost like a movie trailer, isn't it? The fast cuts, the muscle shots, the over-the-top intensity, it's all part of the McGregor show.
Make a new name for yourself. Look at what has happened to Michael Perry. You know, one of our big stars here, the King of Violence, he titles himself. And, you know, he's had such a rise in the sport. Now he's up against, you know, a little dweeb of a thing in a fight this weekend that we're all rooting for him. But, you know, this is the real deal.
I'll give you a third of a Bitcoin. You choose. You choose Conor McGregor. But, bro, good morning. Hope you're up. April 17th, guys, I'm fighting. You know, it was supposed to be Conor McGregor, but we'll see what happens. Stay tuned.
He pushed for, then it was something he didn't push for, and now he's saying he doesn't want to push for unless the UFC is directly at the table negotiating, because quite frankly, that's what it's going to take for any of this to be a reality. Let's just get that out of the way right now. For Jake or Logan to fight Conor McGregor, Dana White is going to have to sign that blessing. And listen, it is Christmas Day, so maybe the holiday spirit is in effect, but without the Dana White clause attached to this contract for Conor McGregor and Jake Paul, or Conor McGregor, Logan Paul, none of this happens.
And let's not forget this footage conveniently leaks at the perfect time, right before a fight that's going to make or break McGregor's legacy. Or at least that's the narrative we're being sold. This whole thing is a masterclass in hype. Who cares about the technical side of the fight? When the promotion is this entertaining, right? It's almost like McGregor's saying, don't worry about how long it's been since my last big win. Just focus on these slick combos and pretend I'm in my prime interview. Let's take a deeper look at this footage because it's not just about the punches, it's about what it says about McGregor's mindset. Sure, he's still throwing haymakers in the gym, but does he still have that mental edge? Has he lost the fire that made him the fighter everyone feared? This footage tries to convince us that he's not just back but better. Of course you can't help. But notice the little edits, the slow motion shots of McGregor landing strikes, because that's the kind of training footage everyone loves to see.
Working hard for my fight on January 18th. Burn the boats mentality. In other words, there's no going back. I'm here to knock a motherfucker out. That's it. And honestly, everything else is kind of going by the wayside. I feel myself changing little by little.
What's up, you Irish cunt? Good morning, Conor McGregor. I know you're probably beating up old dudes in a bar right now, or maybe you're jacking off because you're sick of f***ing your wife. I mean, she's a 4, Conor. You could do a lot better, but happy Monday. My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning. $50 million cash, proof of funds, the biggest fight offer you've ever been offered, but you're scared to fight me, Conor. You're ducking me because you don't want to lose to a YouTuber. You're 0-1 as a boxer. I'm 2-0 as a boxer. I just came off the 8th biggest pay-per-view event in history, but you want to fight Dustin Prober, who has less followers on Instagram than my dog. That's a fact. And Dana White, you're you ugly. You said there's 0% chance of this fight happening, but there's 0% chance of you getting some Conor, you're scared. Dana, you're scared. Sign the contract, you idiots. Jesus Christ. Irish.
It isn't Jake Paul training with professional boxers, essentially being a professional boxer, but getting in the ring with non-boxers or geriatric dudes. He's not doing, Logan Paul's not doing that.
Yeah.
He's getting into the ring. He's an entertainer. He's in the world with World Wrestling Entertainment. He's very athletic. When we saw him in the ring against Floyd Money Mayweather, he didn't make an awful showing for himself, all right? And Conor McGregor is not a boxer. He's a striker and a UFC MMA fighter. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, something like this is reasonable from an entertainment perspective. If Conor got in the ring with a boxer or a UFC fighter, I would say I don't like it at all because he's gonna get his ass kicked. Get ready. But getting in the ring with an entertainer like Logan Paul makes total sense because Logan Paul is neither, but he's athletic.
But here's the kicker. This is McGregor. We're talking about the man who once said, "I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody." Isn't exactly someone who's known for his humble, understated approach. So yeah, the guy knows how to put on a show, and that's exactly what he's doing here. We all know that McGregor thrives on attention, and in this case, he's giving us a peek behind the curtain. Is it a real glimpse into his training, maybe? but it's also a perfect reminder of how good he is at manipulating. The narrative now, Jake Paul. The man who has made a career out of picking fights with fighters who may or may not have been in their prime for the past decade, like his most recent fight with Mike Tyson.
This is the biggest fight offer he's ever been offered, so.
No, you have got radio silence from him?
Radio silence. I mean, we're talking to his team. He looked at my DM on Instagram, but, you know, we're talking to his team, and they're like, just when we sent them the proof of funds, they like put their tail between their, and they were like, oh, this little crazy kid ain't playing.
So
but I sent it, bro. He's gonna turn down 5% of $1 billion for what?
he talks big, he backs it up, you know? What do you think is holding him back? Because that is a lot of money.
Scared, bro. Scared to lose. And I think Dana White's being like, well, what happens if Jake Paul lands that lucky punch, knocks Conor McGregor out, and now the whole like UFC looks like a clown?
Well, look, a lot of people say you crossed the line when you spoke on his woman.
I don't give a fuck. He spoke on Khabib's wife. He said Khabib's wife looks like a towel.
You know what? He has a history of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So now he's getting a taste of his own medicine, and now he's all of a sudden people are butthurt. I'm going too far. This is the fight game. Like, why are people being now all of a sudden? You know, same with Dylan Dennis. They've a religion, Khabib's religion.
How'd you agree to take this fight with Jake Paul?
I believe this is going to be great for boxing. I believe I'm going to win.
Jake, why'd you agree to take the fight with Mike?
Man, he's a legend, you know? This is the guy. This is one of the two most famous boxers to ever live, him and Muhammad Ali. This is a dream come true for me. I am inspired by Mike, his story, you know, what he's persevered through. And to be able to fight him and to share the ring with such a legend is a special moment for me, and it's historic. And the fact that we did it with Netflix, it's the biggest fight of the century, and that's what I love to do. Make history, have fun, and go to war.
Jake has been talking trash as usual while posting his own training videos, looking like someone who is trying really hard to convince us that he's a legitimate fighter. Meanwhile, McGregor's out here with his well-timed, perfectly choreographed leaks, setting the stage for their inevitable clash. You can already hear the commentary before the fight even happens. McGregor's been training like a machine, but can he overcome the up-and-coming force that is Jake Paul? It's laughable, isn't it?